Did you know that there were a handful of movies filmed at Six Flags Over Georgia throughout the years? Some better than others, but all good in their own rights nonetheless. Some venture on emotions, fear, comedy, and horror. Well then, lights, camera, and action! This is the list of 5 movies that were filmed at Six Flags Over Georgia. Let me explain. Wanted to take a second to give a very special thank you and shout out to Justin Clayton for becoming my first patron over on my Patreon page. Thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to me. If you guys want to help support the channel, it really does help the channel grow. You can do so by checking out the link right there on the screen and or in the description box below. Or if you'd like, stay till the end of the video to find out more information about it. Now let's get back to my top 5 list. Thank you so much. So to start this list off, we'll begin with the oldest film to the most recent film that was made, with that being The Sheriff and the Satellite Kid. The Sheriff and the Satellite Kid is an Italian comedy that came out in 1979, starring Bud Spencer and then child star Cary Guffey, who, fun fact, had his film debut in the role of Barry in Steven Spielberg's 1977 sci-fi film Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The Sheriff and the Satellite Kid is a film based in the small town of Noonan, Georgia, where a UFO was spotted that caused a massive panic and fear amongst mankind. But Sheriff Hall, who truly doesn't care about aliens, gets called out that night when a blackout hits the city to go on a search for a boy that had run away. In his search for the little boy, Sheriff Hall decides the best place for him to start looking is at the little boy's favorite place to hang out, which is the local amusement park.
At least I know where to find him.
Also known as Six Flags Over Georgia. While at the park, he actually finds 2 little boys, with one of them wearing a spacesuit, which is actually the runaway boy he was called to retrieve, while the other one introduces himself as H725, who actually has this funky device that enables him to make all technology around him turn on. So Sheriff Hall isn't amused by this and still doesn't believe that aliens exist until the boy makes a horse toss. So there's a local wannabe hero who wants to make himself look really good. He tracks down the little boy and tries to capture him, but Sheriff Hall stops him. Eventually the little boy does get kidnapped, and the sheriff saves him yet again. Then a spaceship comes to pick him up to take him back home. They part ways, but somehow the boy ends up in Sheriff Hall's backseat and the movie ends. Weird ending, but definitely worth the watch. The running time for this film is just shy of 1 hour and 27 minutes long. It was released in 1979 in Italy, but the film can be watched in English. So you can find this movie on YouTube for free with the link in the description box below. Number 2 on this list is Everything Happens to Me. Everything Happens to Me is the sequel to The Sheriff and the Satellite Kid, released in 1980. With it being the sequel, Sheriff Hall and H725 are back at it again in another interesting and comical buddy cop type of film. This film continues as the military is still on their tails in search to find the alien boy, H725, who is now openly going by Charlie Warren. Sheriff Hall and Charlie have to continue to be on the move because Charlie struggles with keeping a low profile. They stumble upon the town of Monroe, Georgia, where there's a lot of crime going on there because you guessed it, there is no sheriff there. Therefore, Charlie and Sheriff Hall decide to lay low there for a bit and strive to make a change when Sheriff Hall becomes the sheriff of Monroe, Georgia. Which, to me, by the way, if you're trying to lay low, taking a pivotal role in the community just isn't the way to go. While dealing with the local thugs in Monroe, Georgia, a bigger problem presents itself to Sheriff Hall and Charlie when an alien task force is being put together to invade their new home. Sheriff Hall, being himself, doesn't know that this is occurring, that the military is being controlled by aliens, so Charlie eventually persuades Hall to look into the matter. Well, long story short, Hall gets arrested, Charlie gets kidnapped for the second time in 2 films. H725, or Charlie, gets kidnapped almost as much as Liam Neeson's character's family in the Taken movie trilogy. But anywho, Sheriff Hall miraculously escapes from jail and joins forces with all the criminals that were running around that were causing havoc in Monroe. The alien supreme leader tries to recruit the local townspeople from the local festival that is going on, where Hall meets up with them and has an epic fight with other law enforcement. This is located at Six Flags Over Georgia. Eventually, Sheriff Hall gets to the alien leader in order to save Charlie. Seeing that Sheriff Hall has the upper hand on him, the alien leader tries to self-destruct, but Hall stops him with one karate chop to his neck so hard that he shatters him like glass. Then all is well and the day is saved yet again. I'd have to say that the infight scene here at the park is pretty iconic and memorable, which makes Everything Happens to Me my favorite movie of the 2. The running time for this film is 99 minutes in Italian and 85 minutes in English. This film was released in 1980, which again is a sequel to the 1979 film The Sheriff and the Satellite Kid. You can watch this movie for free on YouTube, where you can find the link to this film in the description box below. Number 3 on this list is Funland. Funland is a 1987 film that probably is my favorite one that is up on this list. Funland is a dark comedy, even though it truly isn't that dark, starring David L. Lander, who actually voiced many iconic characters in his career and is also a professional baseball scout. David L. Lander plays the role of Bruce Berger and sometimes Neil Stickney. If you see the film, then you'll know what I mean. So, the new season of Funland is about to begin. Everyone is excited while preparing for it to begin. The park is owned by Angus Perry. Wait a minute. Do you guys think that this character was named after Angus G. Wynn, the founder of Six Flags, to pay respect to him? Interesting. And also owned by no other than Neil Stickney, who is one of the founders, former accountants, and now just solely the park's mascot. These group of mobsters kill Angus, take over the park, and want to change it to a uniplex. They see that Neil Stickney is the majority shareholder of the park, but they can't find him because he lives as Bruce Berger, the park's mascot, to the point where he even wants new and special perks and even have his checks made out to Bruce Berger from now on. Bruce begins to hallucinate and starts seeing Angus and other people who are not there, along with speaking with the sausage hand puppet named Peter, and replaced by the national actor who is world famous for playing Bruce Berger in the commercials. Therefore, Neil/Bruce becomes extremely disgruntled and tries to get revenge on the staff for what they did to him. Neil/Bruce tries to kill his replacement and shoots his gun, but doesn't hit. When he fires the gun, the mob owner's son hears a sound and goes up to stop him. But in self-defense, Neil/Bruce kills him, and the movie eventually ends with Neil taking over and running Funland. This film has many iconic scenes and shots of Six Flags Over Georgia back in its heyday. What I love about this movie is that it has that cheesy but epic low-budget 80s feel to it, while displaying so much of the park in some scenes where you just get to enjoy the weird film while looking at the classic Six Flags Over Georgia in the 80s. The running time for this film is 98 minutes long. It was released in 1987, but this link is in Spanish, but you'll need to turn on the English subtitles in order to understand if you don't speak Spanish. The English version appears to have been taken off of YouTube at the time of recording. Number 4 on this list is Vacation. This one should be a lot more known with the most mainstream success. Vacation came out in 2015, starring Ed Helms, who is best known for his role as Andy from The Office and Stewart from the Hangover trilogy, along with co-star Christina Applegate, known for her roles as Kelly from Married with Children, Veronica Corningstone in Anchorman, and so many more films. The 2015 version of Vacation is the 5th installment of the Vacation series. After Rusty, played by Ed Helms, his friends Jack and Nancy begin to gloat about their trip to Paris. Rusty and Debbie already having a stale relationship. When Rusty decides to relive his childhood family memories going on trips, he decides to cancel their annual family trip to Wisconsin, but instead now decides to drive from Chicago cross country to visit Wally World, just like Rusty did when he was a kid. Longer story short though, they go through difficult, hilarious antics and obstacles along their journey, but finally do end up visiting Wally World eventually. And their two sons want to ride the newest, baddest roller coaster, the Velociraptor, which was Ninja at the time and is now Blue Hawk. You have to watch the film to see what happens next. But the scene I'm referring to right now, because this is such a picturesque roller coaster that they ride, one of the most beautifully appealing off-ride coasters in the world. Although it's not everyone's favorite coaster, but it does provide some super rare, unique, and awesome elements that make this ride great. So it's just overall fun to see the Vekoma roller coaster Ninja featured in this movie. So the running time for this film is 99 minutes long. Released in 2015, but is one of the newer additions to the National Lampoon Vacations film series, and is one of 2 of the films that doesn't have National Lampoon in the title. Although you can't find this movie for free on YouTube to watch, you can find this movie on Amazon Prime Video. You can rent it for $3.99 with the link that I provide in the description box below. You can also find this movie on Google Play and rent it in HD or 4K for $3.99 with the link that I provide in the description box below as well. And last but not least, you can watch this movie on YouTube, but not for free. You can rent it in Ultra HD for $3.99 with the link that I provide in the description box below. And with the 5th and final film to be featured on this top 5 list is Hellfest. Hellfest is a 2018 slasher film starring Amy Forsyth, Rain Edwards, and Bex Taylor Claus, along with Tony Todd, who portrayed Sergeant Warren in Platoon, Kern in Star Trek The Next Generation, was the voice of the Fallen in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, and so many amazing other films. Hellfest is about a traveling horror theme park that has a mass killer called the Other, who kills guests when they get separated from their friends in mazes at Hellfest. So the Other begins to stalk the group of young adults and think it's a part of the experience and isn't real. As the night goes on, different things begin to occur, and Natalie, one of the characters in the film, and has fear of what is going on while this is being dismissed by the rest of the group. The Other begins to pick each of them off one one by one in different crazy ways. Towards the end, and to wrap all this up and to not spoil too much, they all begin to run to the exit. They get trapped in another maze that they confuse for the exit. Police barge in to capture the killer, but something doesn't go right and you'll have to watch the rest of the film yourself to see what happens. But this movie was actually filmed in part at Six Flags Whitewater. Which is actually pretty cool. The running time for this movie is 89 minutes long. It was released in 2018 and you can watch it on YouTube, not for free, but you can rent it for $9.99 with a link that I provide in the description box below. You can also watch this movie on Google Play where you can rent it for $9.99 with the link that I provide in the description box below as well. And lastly, you can watch this movie on Amazon Prime Video and rent it for $9.99 also. Wait, don't click off from this video yet. I have a bonus movie for you all. The bonus movie to be featured on this list is Willy's Wonderland, coming out in 2020. This might not have any scenes filmed at Six Flags, or it may, but as of now, I'm adding this as a bonus on the list due to the plot of the film, and it's pretty cool because it's starring Nicolas Cage. Willy's Wonderland stars Nicolas Cage and notable actors Grant Kramer, who was in The Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and Beth Grant, who was Kitty Farmer in Donnie Darko, Miss Kettlewell in Child's Play 2, and many other films. So, Willy's Wonderland, from what we know so far, is that a janitor played by Nicolas Cage is somehow tricked into a janitorial role at the condemned Willy's Wonderland for its reopening. His night settling takes a scary turn when his night becomes a task of survival for his life, and after tons of animatronics at the amusement park come to life and try to attack him to sacrifice him to the people of the town. So he teams up with a group of teenagers who, fortunately for him, show up at the right time to burn down the place in general, and then assist in stopping the sacrifice. They battle with Willy and his evil animatronic armies in hopes that they survive to live another day and escape free of harm with their lives. So images of filming not too long ago were leaked to the public where you can see just how creepy this movie will be. Filming has taken place so far at the time of recording before the nationwide shutdown began, but filming began at Sprayberry Crossing in Marietta, Georgia, and an old bowling alley. You can also see that in the movie, the place is called Willy's Wonderland. They do not have the title rights to Willy's Wonderland, therefore, if they do get the rights to the name, then they'll most likely do some film editing to digitally change the name on the wall and the t-shirts to Willy's Wonderland. But overall, it looks super cool to me, creepy, and I can't wait to check it out, and also see where this Five Nights at Freddy vibe movie locations will fully be filmed. And scene. That's a wrap on the list of 5 movies that were filmed at Six Flags over Georgia, and even Six Flags Whitewater, along with the extra for you all with a bonus film on the list of Willy's Wonderland. Have you seen any of these films? If none, which ones are you most interested in seeing, if any? And how cool does Willy's Wonderland look? Let me know in the comment section below, and I hope that I helped you find some pretty cool things for you to watch for free or for a low price, and overall, I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, thank you. Channel via Patreon, where we have all new live streams and exclusive content and giveaways that are dedicated to the patrons on the exclusive Miguel the Annual Passholder Patreon page. And also, if you like looking nice, you can support the channel via our merchandise shop at annualpassholder.shop. You can find amazing t-shirts and hoodies, such as this one, that you guys can purchase for the low. And feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn it from red to gray, and like this video if you enjoyed yourself. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much, and have a thrilling day.